There's more reaction to the story everyone's talking about. The CEO caught on kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, snuggling with his head of human resources. Today, there are serious questions whether they will be forced to leave their jobs.
Chris Martin is a little rat and a snake, and Coldplay is the worst band in human history. He broke the bro code. They just couldn't let me clap some cheeks in peace.
At first, it looked like just another corporate scandal. A top CEO was caught on a kiss cam with someone who wasn't his wife. Within hours, a new character entered the story, a young woman claiming to be Andy Byron's daughter. Her emotional TikToks, filmed by firelight and backed by moody music, captivated millions. What followed was a chaotic mix of public sympathy, brand deals, viral fame, and social media frenzy. How did a private affair turn into a viral meltdown?
He has 2 children, and it appears that they were caught in what appears to be an affair.
Join us as we reveal how Andy Byron went into complete meltdown after his daughter exposed his dirty deeds. Andy Byron's daughter speaks out. It all started with a kiss cam, a packed Coldplay concert in Boston, lights down, music up. The band's frontman, Chris Martin, joking on stage as the stadium camera zoomed in on a man and woman who were clearly more than co-workers. That man was Andy Byron, then CEO of Astronomer, and the woman next to him wasn't his wife. It was Kristen Cabot, the company's head of HR. The clip hit the internet within minutes and exploded from there. But as wild as that was, no one expected what came next. A young woman appeared online, posting videos from a personal TikTok account called @ThatMarinaGirl. She claimed to be Byron's daughter. The first video showed her sitting by a fire pit at night, looking off into the distance. The caption read, "Reconnecting with life after your dad's affair makes national news." But it didn't stop there. The vibe was raw and emotional. Sad music played in the background, and people were instantly pulled in. The internet loves a messy story, especially when it feels personal. And this was about as personal as it gets. A daughter dealing with her dad's public downfall in real time. The sympathy poured in. Thousands of comments praised her for being brave. Some shared their own stories about family betrayal, while others just sent love and support. The clip went viral, and by the end of the week, it had tens of millions of views. That was only the beginning. Marina kept posting. In one video, she held up her phone, showing screenshots of texts from friends reacting to the kiss cam footage. Messages like, "I thought it was your dad's doppelganger," and "Is your mom okay?" filled the screen. She added short replies, nothing over the top, just enough to keep the drama moving. There was even one where she joked that her mom was healing through breathwork and manifestation. People were glued to her feed. It wasn't just because of who she claimed to be, but because she seemed so normal. Not overly dramatic, not fake crying, just someone trying to make sense of something awful. That sense of realness became a key part of why Marina's following grew so fast. People said they saw themselves in her, especially those who had gone through similar betrayals. The timing of her posts also lined up with real-time events. Right after Andy's resignation from Astronomer, she uploaded a black screen with the caption, "You don't get to pretend to lead when you can't even lead at home." It wasn't explicit, but the implication was clear. That same week, she reposted a TikTok trend using sad audio from Sufjan Stevens, which drove even more emotional engagement. Whether intentional or not, she was now part of the story's emotional core. But there was also another side to her content, one that didn't sit well with everyone. In one post, she stood on the deck of a private yacht, tossing her hair in the wind while lip-syncing to a trending audio clip. The caption, "I don't feel bad for rich people." The comments lit up. Some people loved it, saying she was reclaiming her power, while others thought she was making a joke out of a painful situation. A few called her tone deaf, and one viewer asked if she was healing or just showing off. Then came the travel promo. Marina posted about getting a $35 flight to heal and thanked a company called Treeps.com. That rubbed people the wrong way. Now it wasn't just a personal story, it looked like she might be cashing in on the scandal. Some followers unfollowed while others doubled down, defending her right to make money off her pain. It sparked debate, but still, she wasn't backing down. In another clip, Marina read aloud a message from a cousin who said their family group chat was a total mess. She rolled her eyes, smiled a little, and said, "Yeah, same here." The comments on that one were a mix of concern, jokes, and full-on support. A lot of viewers felt like they knew her by this point, like they were watching someone try to stay afloat while the internet picked apart her family. But the tone around Marina started to shift. A few big accounts on TikTok and Twitter began asking questions. Some said the whole thing felt off. A few pointed out that Andy Byron wasn't known to have a daughter. At first, those comments got drowned out. Some even claimed they were being blocked or their posts deleted when they brought it up. Still, that didn't stop the speculation, and through it all, Marina kept posting. Sometimes sad, sometimes playful, always vague. She didn't name her father directly, and she never showed family photos. But she leaned into the role. The daughter who had her life flipped upside down because of a scandal she didn't ask for. Meanwhile, the internet kept watching. Was she really Andy Byron's daughter? Was she actually hurting? Was this all a setup? People had questions, but most didn't care. They liked the story, and Marina gave them one to follow. The irony, of course, is that while Andy Byron was being picked apart for his behavior on the kiss cam, Marina was becoming a star in her own right for something that may or may not have been real. For now, though, the internet believed her, or at least they wanted to believe her, because this wasn't just about corporate drama or a CEO cheating on his wife. It was about a young woman turning pain into content, grief into engagement, and, whether people liked it or not, attention into opportunity. And that's what made it all so hard to look away from. But the narrative would all change, as you'll see next. Cracks in the story. At first, the internet was eating it up. The tearful videos, the yacht footage, and the whole daughter healing from public shame thing. Marina Byron, supposed daughter of ex-astronomer CEO Andy Byron, seemed to be the emotional heart of the scandal that erupted after the Coldplay kiss cam incident. But not everyone was buying it. Pretty early on, a few viewers started asking something simple. Wait, does Andy Byron even have a daughter? That single question cracked open the whole thing. People who asked that in the comments on Marina's TikTok videos noticed something weird. Their comments would disappear. Some even said they got blocked from the account entirely. The more people got shut down, the more suspicious they got. TikTok sleuths, some with whole channels dedicated to spotting fake influencers, jumped in. And what they found changed everything. So, who was Marina really? One of the first solid pieces of evidence came from an unlikely source. Elon Musk's chatbot, Grok. It's part of XAI, and someone asked it directly if Andy Byron had a daughter named Marina. Grok's answer was clear: no daughter. Byron has 2 sons. No mention of Marina anywhere in public records, and it checked out. Family photos that Byron's wife Megan had posted on social media before scrubbing her accounts showed the couple with 2 boys. No daughter in sight. No mentions, no birthday posts, no prom photos, nothing. Just 2 sons. At that point, things moved fast. In fact, one Reddit user pointed out that a now-deleted tweet from a former astronomer employee had previously referred to Byron's children, 2 boys under 10 who worship their dad. That tweet resurfaced as screenshots and seemed to confirm what Grok and others had said. There was no Marina. On TikTok, duets and stitches started popping up comparing Marina's videos side by side with older clips from a certain Julie Touzé's verified Instagram, who was a French model and singer-songwriter. The mannerisms, backgrounds, and even clothing matched exactly. It wasn't just a case of stolen vibes, it was frame-for-frame replication. Some creators ran side-by-side comparisons that racked up millions of views. Others pointed out that Marina had gone silent whenever asked for proof of her identity. She never mentioned where she grew up, her schools, or even basic timelines. As the scrutiny grew, her entire account started to look more like performance than pain. The digging continued, and it was clear the videos Marina was posting, especially the ones that went the most viral, wasn't original. It had been lifted straight from the social media accounts of Julie Touzé. And Julie? She wasn't having it. She made her own TikTok, where she explained everything, the videos being passed around as Marina's were hers. She said someone had stolen her content, blocked her from commenting, and was now getting clout and maybe money off of her face. She wasn't Andy Byron's daughter. She didn't even know who he was until this whole mess showed up on her For You page. Julie asked viewers to report the account. She looked tired and frustrated, and people listened. Suddenly, the vibe around at that Marina girl shifted hard. That was when the travel brand Treeps.com stepped in, and it just made the whole thing worse. Turns out, one of Marina's viral videos was a soft ad for Treeps.com. She talked about getting a $35 flight to heal after her dad's cheating scandal. It looked like sponsored content, but once the story started unraveling, Treeps.com spoke up. They said they didn't own the account and didn't even know her identity at the time. They'd simply seen the viral numbers and reached out, hoping to ride the wave. Now, they admitted they'd been lied to. The person behind the account took the money, never told them she wasn't actually who she claimed to be, and then ghosted. They couldn't reach her anymore. From their side, it was a scam. At this point, people started realizing this wasn't just weird internet drama. It was possibly fraud. The audience turned fast. Many people had fallen for it. They'd left kind messages, shared the account, and defended Marina in comment fights. But now, those same people were deleting their likes, commenting that they got played, and even wondering what else online is fake. The story, which started as a scandal about a CEO cheating at a concert, now had a new layer. It wasn't just about infidelity anymore. It was about how easy it is to fake something online and how fast people will believe it when the timing is right. Some viewers admitted they wanted it to be real. The emotional daughter, the healing journey, and the yacht life mixed with pain and public shame. It felt like a real-world soap opera, but now it was just another hoax, one that went way too far. Even though the account went private, the damage was done. In just a few days, the fake daughter story became its own scandal. It was no longer just a side note to the Kiss Cam drama. It was front and center, and the bigger message people took away was, don't trust everything you see, even if it goes viral, even if it feels emotional, even if you really, really want it to be true. The Marina hoax became a perfect example of how quickly the internet rewards something dramatic, even if it's completely made up. It also showed how brands, viewers, and platforms can all get caught in the same trap. One minute, you're watching a tearful girl next to a fire. The next, you're realizing that even that moment was borrowed from someone else. The whole thing left people wondering, how many other viral stories are just as fake? And how many of them are we still falling for? But this wasn't the end to the Andy Byron scandal. The revelation in the next chapter will leave you even more shocked. Andy Byron's House of Cards collapses. By now, most people had either laughed, gasped, or side-eyed their way through the Kiss Cam fiasco. But what happened after that moment in the stadium was far more brutal than anything caught on camera. Andy Byron went from being a respected CEO to a walking internet meme. The man who once stood at the top of a billion-dollar company suddenly found his personal and professional life crumbling in real time. The fallout started fast. Astronomer released a short, cold statement the morning after the scandal hit its peak. It confirmed Byron had officially stepped down. Not a leave of absence, not a time to reflect, he was out. The company pointed to a violation of leadership standards, saying it had no choice but to act. That might have been the end of the story, embarrassing, sure, but survivable. But then came what people started calling Coldplay Gate 2.0. This time, it wasn't about holding hands at a concert. It was about money, messages, and a leak that hit harder than anyone expected. Screenshots began circulating of DMs, payment confirmations, and chat logs showing Byron allegedly paid influencer Sophie Rain $40,000 for explicit content. Not just flirty banter or some questionable texts, but actual content tied to her OnlyFans page. It wasn't leaked by a hacker or a jealous ex. It came from Byron's own wife, Megan Carrian. Online detectives believe Megan used a burner Instagram account, what Gen Z calls a Finsta, to upload the screenshots. Whether it was revenge, a warning shot, or just her way of reclaiming power, it didn't matter. The internet latched on immediately. Sophie Rain responded quickly, not with outrage, but with something that felt like a strange mix of distance and shade. She made it clear she didn't condone Byron's behavior, but said she was there for Megan if she ever wanted to talk. She also added, somewhat randomly, that she's a Christian and a Coldplay fan and was glad this got exposed. From there, things went full circus. Memes exploded. One compared Byron's downfall to the FTX collapse, but with less crypto and more feet pics. Another joked he cashed out his 401k just to subscribe to Sophie's premium tier. Hashtags like Coldplay Gate, Only Fired, and Astronomer CEO trended for days. Even people who had no idea who Andy Byron was a week ago were suddenly in group chats cracking jokes about him. As all of this played out, people noticed Megan Carrian had gone completely silent. Her once public Facebook page disappeared, but not before someone spotted that she had dropped the Byron from her name a few days earlier. Rumors started flying. One account claimed she had moved back to her family's estate in Maine. Another said she was in Italy with friends. Wherever she went, it was clear she was distancing herself, both online and offline. Inside Astronomer, things were tense. Employees were leaking to journalists, investors were making calls, and Pete DeJoy, Byron's co-founder, stepped up as interim CEO. He released a company-wide memo that tried to calm the storm. It said Astronomer would refocus on its mission and values, and that leadership had to be accountable. It didn't name Byron directly, but it didn't need to. Everyone knew what it meant. At this point, the whole Marina hoax from earlier felt like a weird footnote, but it actually said a lot about where things were headed. A fake daughter making fake healing videos nearly hijacked the real story. And for a brief moment, people cared more about a fake family member than the actual scandal. The irony didn't go unnoticed. Some commenters said it showed how easy it is to rewrite a narrative online. Others pointed out how quick people are to believe something, anything, if it has the right music and filters behind it. There were even threads debating whether the fake Marina storyline caused more damage than the real affair. The truth is, Byron's mess was layered. Yes, he cheated. Yes, he stepped down. Yes, he sent money to an influencer and got exposed. But the way the internet responded, the hoaxes, the memes, the firestorm, it turned a personal failure into a full-blown cultural moment. It wasn't just about what he did. It was about how fast the world watched it all fall apart. And when it fell, it didn't fall quietly. Byron's face, once found in boardrooms and press releases, was now slapped onto memes with captions like, "When your midlife crisis costs $40,000 and a career." Some influencers started making parody OnlyFans pages titled Astronomy 101 and Starry Mess just to cash in on the attention. Late-night comedians made jokes, and even Coldplay fans started booing during the Kiss Cam segment at concerts. It wasn't just a scandal anymore. It was content. And that's the part that stuck with people. A fake daughter fooled millions. A real CEO paid tens of thousands for explicit content. A wife exposed him with a fake Instagram. A company scrambled to save face. All while strangers online were laughing, arguing, and refreshing their feeds. The fall of Andy Byron wasn't a clean break. It was a slow-motion collapse, one piece of the house falling after another until nothing was left standing. No one really knows what's next for him. Public statements have stopped. His legal team is probably working overtime, Megan is not talking, and Astronomer has moved on. But the internet hasn't, and maybe it never will. What do you think about the Andy Byron scandal and the fake daughter story? Kindly share your answers, thoughts, and opinions in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel to enjoy more videos like this. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.